Hey guys, welcome back to the bench. So today I made some changes to the GCM Yeti. Actually, it's an axial Yeti, link below. And of course we wanted to personalize it quite a bit. And the first thing we did was talk to Neil at Freaky Skins, and we got ourselves some fantabulous graphics. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it matches the graphic theme that we're going to use for all the shows for next year. So this is kind of what you're going to see at the GCM tent if you come to an event that we're vendoring at. And you will see our rigs, a bunch of our rigs decked out in this sort of a theme. We've got a MetalHead Wraith set up for that as well, and you'll see that at the tent, so you must come to an event to see it. Otherwise, hands off to you. Sorry. Now, the Yeti, not only has this thing been beaten, thrashed, whipped, taken apart, reconstituted, and rebuilt by a lot of people already on the internet and all over the RC community, but there is a huge amount of aftermarket parts piling out of the woodwork for this thing because the U4 and sort of the half bashing, half crawling kind of motif is really taken off. This is a new section of the hobby that's kind of like part monster truck, part crawler. I don't really know how else to describe it. But Axial had a look at what was going on in the aftermarket world and decided, yeah, you know what, people are taking a Wraith and sticking an Exo front end on it and such, so they came up with something even more pristine than that, which is the Yeti. And I'm not going to bother telling you all about it because you can read the link below for the Axial Yeti. But well, of course, GCM can't leave anything alone, so as soon as ours came into the shop, we decided to get on to the graphics theme and a whole bunch of performance. Let me get rid of the body here. Now, everybody knows this is made out of plastic. Yes, it is. And it gets the job done. And these are some pretty tough pieces of plastic, there's no doubt. But if you plan on doing some real competitive U4 racing, or some big airtime, or some kind of high-speed rock smashing fun, you need a little more than plastic. And that's where GCM comes in with the A13 MetalHeads, and I have yet to see something that's really going fast down the rocks that has an offset diff. So there may be some out there, don't kill me, but we created the centered MetalHead housing for a couple of reasons. The Wraith builds that were turning into U4 a year or two ago were looking for a centered Wraith housing. It's a scale look. It makes a lot of sense to have a centered housing when you have the centered drive shaft coming out the center. Now I understand that if the drive shaft was coming out the side of the truck, you could line it up nice with this, but you know, at high speed and a whole lot of action on the suspension, the last thing you want is U-joint failure, and you get U-joint failure from having the U-joint stressed out half sideways all the time. Any of the off-road guys will tell you that from the 1-to-1 scale. So we decided that for our Yeti build, it was time to put a MetalHead centered A13 in the back. This is the exact same diff that we offer for the Wraith. It's the exact same diff. The only change that you will have to make to your Yeti to make this thing happen is the two top links. You'll see ours in silver here. We stuck on two Rock Beach Customs links. They are 131 millimeters from eye to eye, which is very, very close to Rubicon lower, which is 130. And all you have to do is take a 130 millimeter link and put a 1mm spacer in it, and you have a perfect top link for a Yeti with an A13 MetalHead in the back. Have a look at that. Pretty easy. Now, you absolutely must, if you like your drive shaft, you must take this top link and mount it in the lower hole on the chassis, right there. It comes in the top hole. You gotta mount it in the lower hole. And the reason is because if you don't, the suspension geometry here pushes and pulls the axle so bad, you're gonna get a really hard life on your U-joint. So, I want you to look at the axle swing on this, and as it goes through the travel, have a look at the pig, and you can get an idea of how flat this is right now. And as the travel goes up and down, have a look at the position of the axle while it's traveling. Alright? I'll try to do this as steady as I can. Have a look at this. See that? The axle is pancake flat. You know what that means? It means that when you're in your usual driving position, which is pretty much flat linked, the drive shaft is absolutely perfectly straight. There is zero drive shaft U-joint angle on this thing right now because the diff is centered and the drive shaft is pancake flat right now in the center. It's got a tiny bit of U-joint up on the top travel and a tiny bit of U-joint down on the bottom travel, but when this thing is sitting in the center of the suspension, which is where it usually sits, the drive shaft is absolutely flat as a pancake. Flat. This is the ultimate drive shaft geometry. So, if you want to go fast and you want to keep the wear out of your drive shaft and you want to keep your maintenance down, this is the setup to use for a centered rear axle. We did this for a few reasons. On the MetalHead axles, all you know this already, the pinion has a mounting tab right on it, right here, so that you can actually bolt your top links right to the pinion. There's no separate bracket or anything. It's super, super, super clean, and it works, and the geometry is bang on. I mean, the drive shaft stays perfectly flat the whole time. The diff has no swing in it at all. Awesome. Anyway, that's so far where we're at with the Yeti. There's a whole bunch of fantastic mods out there. There's links below for some of my favorite Yeti equipment that's out already. I want you guys to have a look at that. You can now get all kinds of flat panels for the body. You can get suspension link kits. You can get CVD or universal kits in the front. The list goes on and on and on. And of course, the GCM XO Yeti differential cup fits directly into this buggy. Yeah, because it gives you the opportunity to tune your oil without taking the entire diff out and changing all that stuff. So that's a great mod. It's inexpensive. It's super tough. And if you're going to do U4, I recommend a centered diff from GCM, and the A13 MetalHead has your name on it because the geometry is perfect so your drive shaft doesn't bust halfway around the track. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. That's our Yeti update. Bye bye.